Everybody is waiting for best anticipated anime of 2026 and 27, or maybe they are waiting for their favorite anime series, or maybe somebody wants overpowered anime protagonists like Solo Leveling. But in between all of this, there are some people who want to watch anime which have a good story and crazy animation which feels like this can be real. And I promise you that most of the people have never ever heard of this anime before. Here are 10 anime where the studios went way there beyond good animation and where the visuals feel like they are belong in a gallery and somehow almost nobody is talking about them. Number 10. Orb on the Movements of the Earth, produced by Madhouse, the studio behind Monster, HXS and Parasite. This story is set in a kingdom inspired by 15th century Poland where people are being executed for one crime, believing the earth moves around the sun. Our 12-year-old protagonist Raphael gets caught right in the middle of it. But here's what nobody talks about. The visual philosophy of this show is designed to suffocate you. Almost every scene is lit by fire, torches, candles, burning light, but the warmth is fake because fire is just the world means destruction. Books are burned, people are burned, so every warm glow feels dangerous. There's not just style, there's storytelling. Then the night scene hits and suddenly everything opens up. Deep blue sky, endless stars. The feels like Vinland Saga but about ideas instead of war. And same weight, same tension, same brutal honesty. Number 9. Apocalypse Hotel, set in a post-humanity Tokyo where nature has completely and gloriously reclaimed everything. Skyscrapers swallowed by vines, train stations turned into ecosystems, entire neighborhoods buried under centuries of overgrowth, and in the middle of it all, a hotel still running, staffed by robots who don't know or refuse to accept that their guests stopped showing up for a long time ago. The visual contrast here is peak fiction for the eyes. Sleek high-tech robot staff standing in a lobby where through the windows is slowly becoming a jungle, and lush green and vivid blue pressed against terrace architecture. It looks like a Studio Ghibli film got into a fight with a post-apocalyptic sci-fi OVA and both of them won. Most post-apocalyptic men lean into a grey and browns. Apocalypse hotels say no. A collapse can be gorgeous. Nature isn't pushing humanity, it's just moving on, thriving indifferent. The philosophical argument delivered entirely through color direction is the next level anime. On number 8, Medalist. I know what some of you are thinking, figures taking anime. Really? You really? And I need you to trust me on this. Studio NG partnered with Japan's National Skating Federation and brought in the retired 3-time Grand Prix finalist Akio Suzuki to choreograph every single routine. They used full motion captures on professional skaters, adults and kids both, so every jump and stumble carries the physical weight of a real human body. The detail that broke my brain, the CGI and so precisely collaborated that ice blade marks appear exactly where the character's feet landed. The show made me check for that. And the story is equally built different. 11-year-old Inori wants to be the competitive skater, but in Japan, 11 is already considered late. Her coach Tsukasa also started too late. Two people asking the same question from the opposite ends of the timeline. Am I already too late? Emotional damage guaranteed. Medalist is what Yuri on Ice always want to be. Season 2 is confirmed, so let's get caught up to now. Number 7, Witch's Journey Journal, or A Journal with a Witch. With Medalist hits you with kinetic energy, this one does not exact opposite, and somehow he's just as hard. The art style is the best described as moving illustrated manuscripts, soft pencil lines and watercolor bleeds, compositions that feel deliberately incomplete, like the edges of the page have been gently erased. The story follows two women, a fiercely independent middle-aged witch and her teenage nicely who comes to live with her after a family tragedy, and their dynamic is psychological, complex and built on layers of unspoken grief. This is an anime about how people who love each other still speak completely different emotional language, and the visual style reinforces that beautifully. Background shapes is texture based on emotional tone, more detailed when characters are guarded, losers and impersonating when they are vulnerable. The directors are using art itself as a psychological indirector, and most viewers never consciously notice it. They just feel it. This is the anime you would recommend to someone who says they do not watch anime. They come back 3 days later having finished it in one sitting, looking slightly haunted. Number 6, The Garden of Words. Now let me be clear, this is not underrated in the sense that nobody has seen it. Makoto Shinkai has enough fans that anything with his name gets attention, but it is the criminally underrated in terms of how often it gets discussed is because conversation about visual mastery, because this 46-minute film might be the single best showcase of rain animation in the history of the entire medium. Every raindrop is individually calculated, the way water pools on stone, the way humidity falls the air in Shinjuku, and the reflection overcast skies in puddles. Shinkai wasn't just animating a story, he was obsessed with moisture as visual philosophy. The result looks in many sequences more realistic than actual photographs. With all that rain, a high school boy and a lonely office worker finds an unexpected connection during rainy mornings in a Japanese garden, compact, devastating, and it will permanently change how you look in rain forever. If you haven't watched it, this is your warm-up before you name and weathering with you. Number 5. Makuya When the Promised Flower Blooms. Makuya is the kind of film that anime community mentions once, agrees is absolutely devastating, and then nervously moves on from, because nobody wants to spend more than 30 seconds remembering how hard it hit them. Mari Okada, screenwriter of Ahoana and Toradora, directs the debut feature. An immortal girl from a weaving clan adopts a human baby and watches him grow up, grow old, and grow past her. She stays young, he does not. The visual storytelling is built entirely around cloth. Makuya's people weave a fabric that records history in its thread. The entire clan palette mirrors these warm amber and cream tones that feels woven, textured, and old. As decades pass, the color fray at the edges, time rendered as fabric wear. This is a 2-hour film about unconditional maternal love and morality, and what it means to watch everyone you love age past you, more emotionally sophisticated than Grave of the Fireflies, and it will destroy you specifically, intentionally, and completely. Number 4. Violent Evergarden, one of the greatest animated series ever made, and honestly one of the most visually breathtaking anime to ever exist. Violent Evergarden is not just beautiful, it is a beautiful with a purpose. Every frame is composed like a painting with soft golden light, delicate pastels, landscape, and character animation show detail that you can read entire emotions from the smallest hand movements. The story follows Violent, a former child soldier who never learned how to understand human emotions. After the war ends, she becomes an auto-memory doll, someone who writes letters for others while searching for the meaning behind the last words said to her by the person she loved most. What makes the visual so devastating is how they serve the emotion. The warmth of the color palette feels almost cruel against the coldness Violet carries inside. Kyoto Animation poured everything into this production, and every single episode looks like a cost of a fortune because it did. This is visual storytelling at its absolute highest level. Number 3. 86. On the surface, 86 looks like a clean, polished military sci-fi anime, but underneath that surface is one of the most deliberate and emotionally intelligent visual production in recent anime history. The story takes place in a nation that publicly claims it fights its war with unmanned drones and zero human casualties. The reality is far darker, and oppressed people known as the 86 are secretly forced to pilot those machines and die in complete silence, erased from the history and forgotten. The visual direction reflects the divide with total precision. The Republic side is sterile, white, and almost uncomfortably pristine, a world deliberately designed to hide its own ugliness. The 86 side is raw, gritty, and alive with color and texture that feels human, despite everything trying to erase them. That contrast is not accidental. It is the entire argument of the show rendered visually. Every frame is making a political statement, and most viewers feel it long before they consequently recognized it. That it exceptional visual craft. Number 2. Shoshimin, How to Become Ordinary. Here is a visual flex that most people won't even notice unless they have been seen enough films to recognize what's being referenced. Shoshimin shoots its entire runtime in a cinemascope ultra-wide aspect ratio, the same format used in Hollywood epics like Lawrence of Arabia or Akira Kurosawa's Run. Films like the use horizontal space to make their worlds feel vast, cinematic, and weighty, and Shoshimin used the this format to make a high school mystery about seasonal sweets feels like a grand cinematic event. Protagonists Kowata and Osanai are desperately trying to disappear into ordinary life, but the ultra-wide frame makes their very ordinary world feels consequential, epic. Even the cinematography is making a visual argument. Nothing about these people is actually ordinary, no matter how hard they try. The character design comes from an animator trained in the Kyoto animation tradition, influenced specifically by the designer behind Hyoka, and if that comparison means anything to you, you already know you need to watch this immediately. Number 1. Witch at Atelier. Witch at Atelier might be the most important anime airing right now in terms of what it means for the future of visual anime adaptation. The manga by Kamono Shishimura is famous above all else for its art intricate, cross-hatched, almost medieval in its destiny of line work, the kind of illustration that takes months per chapter and looks like it belongs in a manuscript. When the anime has announced, the director opened admittedly that adapting it seems like a reckless adventure. Most studios would have simply flattened it into standard modern anime aesthetics and called it a day. Studio Bug Films did not do that. The anime preserves Shirahama's intricate line quality through an art direction philosophy that treats every background as a handcrafted illustration. The magic glyphs sequence where characters physically draw their spells feels like a calligraphy and physics simultaneously, and the story beneath all the beauty is darker than it looks. Magic is monopolized. The one storybook aesthetic is deliberately layered over a story about social stratification and the gatekeeping of knowledge. The show that looks like it's for children is asking deeply adult questions with a child's visual language. That is not an accident. That's, my friends, is artistry. And that was the 10 anime, 10 visual philosophies, 10 reasons why the most stunning artwork in the medium right now doesn't always come from the most talked about shows the studios cooked. Now it's your job to show up to the table. Drop in the comments which one you're watching first and which visually stunning anime did we miss, because I know we missed a few. If this video helped fill the empty space with something worth watching, hit that thumbs up, it genuinely helps. And if you want more lists like this, click the left video for the top 10 best isekai and fantasy anime 2026, or the right video for the top 10 must watch anime 2026. I will see you all in the next one.